He's probably the most senior leader in Hamas after Yahya Sinwar, who's considered to be the mastermind of the October 7th massacres and is believed to be living, likely, in one of the terror tunnels in Gaza. So assuming Israel was behind this, which they almost certainly were, how did they get the real-time intel that he was there? This happened in the capital of Tehran. Makes you think they've got moles in the Iranian government. Here to help us figure it out, Michael Weiss, journalist and editor of The Insider. He's written extensively about the region. Michael, thanks for coming on. Appreciate it. All right, so does this mean that Israel has moles inside the Iranian government?
Well, we know that they have moles, regardless of whether or not they used any of their assets for this this strike, this assassination. It seems likely that they did, but we know it because it's been reported for years. Remember Stuxnet, the the virus that was implanted both by Mossad and CIA officers. They used assets working in Iran's nuclear weapons program to basically install that software. Mossad has killed Iranian nuclear scientists for many years, using limpet bombs attached to their motors, driving on motorcycles and attaching limpet bombs to their cars. Just a few years ago, the Israelis exfiltrated the entirety of Iran's nuclear weapons research program, which was kept in a presumably well-guarded facility in central Iran. And now, indeed, this. So I think that this is a colossal embarrassment for the Revolutionary Guard Corps. And keep in mind, the head of Iranian intelligence retired yesterday, saying that his signature achievement throughout his tenure was dismantling the vast Israeli spy apparatus that has been in place in the country. And then all of a sudden, Palestinian leader of Hamas, who's there visiting to celebrate the inauguration of Iran's new president, gets hit in his quarters. And by the way, the quarters he was kept in are an IRGC facility attached to the presidential compound. So this is like hitting someone in Blair House. This is another very well-guarded, sensitive area in Tehran. And I think the Israelis did this, obviously because they have said, we will go after everyone who was involved in October 7th. And no Hamas operative, no Hamas commander is going to be safe. It would make the operation following the Munich terror attack in 1972 pale in comparison. I mean, these are statements that Israeli intelligence officers have.
Let me ask you about that. Let me ask you about that, because this follows the elimination of a top Hezbollah leader in Beirut, an action that Israel took credit for. Why are they not formally taking responsibility for this one as opposed to the Hezbollah leader?
Well, I think the Hezbollah one was slightly different. So this was retaliation, direct retaliation for the murder of school children on a playground, and not even Israeli Jewish children, by the way, but Druze kids. And the Israelis said that this, with no doubt about it, that Hezbollah launched the rocket that struck this playground. And so I think for them, that was a tit for tat tactical operation. But yeah, I mean, it was the Fuad Shuk is the #2 guy in Hezbollah, military commander, by the way, not just Israeli blood on his hands, but American blood on his hands, because he's wanted by the FBI for his role in the 1984 Marine barracks bombing in Beirut, which was the worst terror attack visited on Americans anytime prior to 9/11. So I think they chose him carefully, also not to upset the apple cart with Washington. It's very hard for any American, certainly no one in the CIA or the FBI or Marine Corps headquarters is going to be shedding any tears for Shuk's overdue demise, as they would see it. But Hania is different. Again, struck in the heart of Iran at a time when the United States is trying very desperately to implement some kind of ceasefire agreement over the war in Gaza. There's a lot of reporting out there that Hania was the sort of the main interlocutor or negotiator for the ceasefire. I'm sure that negotiations will proceed apace even after his demise. But there's no question in the eyes of the Israelis and certainly their security services. This was a guy who praised October 7th, said that it should happen again and again. And yeah, I mean, obviously he was a political leader, Politburo chief of a designated terrorist organization, which Israel has said they want to see wholly dismantled, and they're not going to stop, even if the war in Gaza stops.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.